So when I say the most annoying streamer, some candidates you may be thinking of is Neon, Adam Ross, potentially Jinxie.
Light work, no reaction.
Ooh. Okay, it's got a little kick. Oh.
Or XQC.
What the fuck is that? What's that? What's that thing? Is that a dog?
Ooh. I show speed even. If your head is so empty I could fit a Toyota Corolla in there, but that's just your opinion. The wrong opinion, but anyway. Today I'm going to be implanting my opinion on the most obnoxious and annoying streamer on Twitch into that caveman-sized brain of yours. But that is not to say that this person off-stream is annoying, obnoxious, or just a terrible person. As I've said multiple times throughout my videos, I like to think most streamers aren't really displaying their true personality, unless they're a streamer like XQC who is generally so moronic you really can't make that up or even act like that.
Oh, melted! The fuck? The bag melted too. I'm breathing plastic. What the fuck is wrong?
Don't worry, I actually like watching XQC, so I'm allowed to say that, because I'm about as 10 times worse being entertained by a moronic idiot. But I like to think a majority of streamers, not all streamers, are not showing their true personality, and even showing a different personality than what they usually would do, or even a version of their own personality just significantly upscaled for the camera. But the streamer I'm going to be talking about today is a streamer with an online presence which fills me full of copium, grinds my gears, and makes me just seethe with rage. Not really, I got more angry when Netflix decided to cancel Inside Job instead of Big Mouth. It is a piece of dog shit. It's more like an inconvenience like stubbing my toe, or getting that weird phenomenon when I piss where it goes both ways and it just ends up all over the bathroom floor. I don't even think Moses could have divided that stream like I can. But the fact I subject myself to it time and time again, it's more intentional, like putting a toothpick under my toenail and kicking a wall.
Ow.
Today we're going to be talking about Tectone, who is so obnoxious and arrogant he probably could be used by the FBI as an interrogation tactic, to annoy people or just be blatantly obnoxious till they talk. If being humble was a skill, he wouldn't even have the skill tree, let alone the fundamentals of what it is. And if unfounded self-pity was a competition, I'd argue he'd be on the same level as someone that got cooked. He's actually loved in a lot of communities, one of them being the Genshin Impact community, which is the pot calling the kettle black, so to say. And I can't think of how hard it is to get hated by the Genshin Impact community. Like, it's actually respectable to be hated by the community most people detest. Not saying the game's bad, I'm just saying the community is just a toxic cesspool. But seriously, that is an Xbox achievement worth like 100 game score, or if you had a PlayStation as a child, like a platinum trophy. But we all know having an Xbox 360 as a child was peak childhood. But who is Tectone? Well, despite the content creation org he's in, and the bald head, he doesn't play World of Warcraft all that much. He's actually known for streaming gacha. Gacha basically, to my understanding, being gambling, but for weebs that are trying to get a variant of their waifu that shows their crusty asshole more than other variants, with just like a 5-star or something next to it. But gacha basically is anime games where you can get multiple characters, all with different abilities and different star ratings, and the more money you have to pay just to get a single digit of possibility to get them. Genshin Impact is sort of an example of this. He's known for streaming these type of games and joining the content organisation OTK, or One True King, who involve other creators like Sodapoppin, Nick Pollum, Asmongold, and Female Moist Critical, aka Emiru. That's basically the biography of Tectone, but to say a majority of time he's insufferable is an understatement, especially on other people's streams where, heaven forbid, he is not the main character of this anime, or a clip of him whining goes on livestream fails, where the majority of the Redditors just shit on him, to be general. And sometimes, like most stinky Redditors, I go on livestream fails, and every clip I see of him, it's always the same thing. It's usually him being blatantly obnoxious and not aware of his surroundings, or the people with him.
I'm patient.
No, you're fucking not!
And once again, calling myself out, I am riding the hate burner. That thing is at least 6 inches into my esophagus by now. And I love to shit and piss in my little dipey-wipey that is my YouTube channel, but do be so kind to stick with me and try to understand my madness. The first clip I'm going to expose you to is a clip between him and his now ex-wife. And just to set the context for this clip, they got onto a topic which is the equivalent of touching an anti-personnel landmine with a stick, and the topic that was suggested by the chat was, who carries the marriage? Now, if this conversation ever comes up with you, well, probably won't, you're watching this video, but it is best to avoid it or just go in the most level-headed way possible. Do not do this.
How do I deal with him? I love him.
Don't touch me.
I'm patient.
No, you're fucking not. You're like the most impatient, moody fucker I've ever met.
I'm patient when it comes to you.
Freem, I carry our marriage, and you know that. Freem, you know that.
I think we have a pretty 50-50 marriage.
You're high. You're high. You're kidding. On stream? Is this content? Or wait, you're kidding, Freem.
You see what I mean now when I say he's a tiny bit arrogant and a tiny bit obnoxious? He could have quite easily just let it slide or not even commented, but he decides to somewhat berate her, saying she is high if she thinks it's 50-50 in this relationship. And watching this, I thought, oh, he's playing a character, this is just a bit, but I just couldn't see the punchline. It went on painfully long. But they have now separated and this event probably didn't relate to it at all. But if you still think my opinion is somewhat of a delusion, let us dive back into my folder of CBT and look at another clip.
Is not. Okay, that's
But
what I
you
thought.
would probably want to play ranked, right?
Yeah.
I could teach you. I could teach
I
you.
mean, I'm better than you at League of Legends.
No, you are not.
Then prove it.
I used to be like top 2,000 players on the server.
And you fell off,
also
though.
playing on
That makes no sense, because it's because you're washed now,
I don't play anymore. I do other shit.
right? Well,
You're literally silver talking shit.
Well, what?
I saw your win rate, brother.
I think you're actually mad right now.
Because he's fucking annoying. This is like what we talked about earlier.
Now, we see here the extent of his aura, the extent of his stand, the extent of his magical power to somehow annoy everyone he comes in contact with. Female Charlie, aka Emiru, gets somewhat annoyed just in mere seconds of talking to him. And female Charlie is regarded as this cool, level-headed person that is usually calm in these situations, hence why people call her Female Charlie. But it took seconds to break down that illusion. It's honestly impressive. I honestly think even if Emiru, aka Female Charlie, is unable to withstand his magnum opus that is just his mere presence, I dread to think what I could withstand. Maybe just a single syllable from his mouth would be enough to send me in a frenzy or just have my brain shut down.
Fucking normies!
But my favourite clip is when Emiru, aka Female Charlie, is trying to announce something on stream, and I just want you to guess what happens next.
Party with everyone in OTK except for
Why the fuck do you have the remote, you cheating bitch? Give it to Nick.
What?
Give it to Nick, you cheating fuck. No, he didn't, you fucking cheater.
Dude, how about you shut the fuck up?
How about you shut the fuck up? You stupid fucking
Shut the
bitch.
fuck up! We have sponsorships!
You are ruining
Shut up! Emmy! Announce it!
Hey, Tectone, you actually did ruin the sponsor announcement.
He just activated his fucking ultimate, and he's been saving that shit for 3 games, and becomes Inumaki from Jujutsu Kaisen in seconds, and just envelops everyone in his own voice, basically just cutting off the conversation there, no matter what important thing she was about to say. Like, she could have started talking about her parents, like, going through a rough period, somebody in their family died, and he would have still popped his ult. And he interrupted because he thought someone was cheating at a video game, like, between friends. It was just the biggest fuck you to Emiru, aka Female Charlie, and whatever she was about to announce. He has a quest given to him personally by Dumbledore to annoy every single person he comes in contact with. But you'll be glad to know, you have to feel sorry for him. Because recently he went on stream and said OTK, the organisation he joined, actually did not benefit him at all financially. It in fact did the opposite, and he was in debt because of this organisation.
Go ahead. Oh, and also, there's also this misconception that goes around where OTK got me out of debt. I don't know where the fuck that spawned from, but that shit is insane.
Didn't he say Mizkif helped you with financial stuff?
No, what happened was OTK wanted me to move to the United States, so I had to buy a house that I could not afford. Me joining OTK is what put me into debt.
Now, the main point that he was in debt was because he had to move all the way to Austin, Texas, and buy a nice house. No, he isn't going to buy any just rusty shit shack or mediocre one-bedroom apartment. He went for a nice house and then complained that he had to buy a nice house to move to Texas. He's not just emotionally ignorant, he's financially ignorant, apparently. Are you feeling bad for him yet? Well, take that emotion, tie it to an anchor, and throw it in the Mariana Trench. Because it's not entirely OTK's fault that he had to buy that nice house and launch himself into debt. No, there's more to it than that. Because he publicly says he hates Genshin Impact and even says to Asmongold he shouldn't play it.
Dude, I released a video this morning on how I do not believe you're going to play Genshin Impact.
Really?
Want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because it is a waste of your fucking time.
But altogether, he has spent 50k on Genshin Impact.
Wait, on just Genshin?
Yeah, I spent $500,000 on Genshin Impact.
Let that settle in. Let that sit on that chrome dome of yours. He's complaining he's in debt because he had to buy a nice house and he spent 50k on Genshin Impact. A game in which he says he hates and the community hates him. On top of that, he gets paid extortionate amounts from sponsors, which he leaked himself.
I did that.
What is that?
0?
I just got all kinds of money. Holy shit.
Like, I don't see why you're not pitying this guy. Like, he pities himself a lot. Why can't you join in? Like, what the fuck? Like, genuinely, sometimes he will make a statement with no cohesion between his brain and mouth. Like, this motherfucker's brain got disconnected like Aang got disconnected from the Avatar realm for a bit. He sort of looks like fucking Aang as well. Maybe One Punch Man. But remember when he said OTK did not benefit him at all? And sponsors are spreading their asshole for him because he's a part of OTK. Just a bit contradictory. It's almost as if he's oblivious to how much the org has done for him. And he's not grateful whatsoever. Are you seeing my point now? If not, I think you need to start learning earthbending. You blind fuck. I still need to watch the Netflix adaptation of Avatar. I know it's going to be cock and ball torture, but seems fun. But going back to that Genshin Impact 50k thing, he publicly says he hates Genshin Impact, but he has spent 50k on it. And that can quite easily be summed as, you know, a lot of people say they hate a game, but they'll play it over and over again because they have Stockholm Syndrome and they're trying to chase those feelings they got when they were a child. That got a bit too relatable. But come on, 50k. That is not Stockholm Syndrome. That is dedication. You would have got more benefits putting that money into a slot machine, to be honest. But putting 50k into a game and then saying your content organisation hasn't helped you out at all, I don't know, it's either very dumb to say or just so bizarre to me. But some of his opinions on Genshin Impact have riled up the community, but I'm not touching that hornet's nest with a 100-foot pole, even if that pole had a 50-foot condom and a fleshlight on the end. The mold will still grow all the way across that pole. But many people within the Genshin Impact community hate him because his opinions go against the grain, so to say. And that some of the things he says about Genshin Impact, like I've mentioned before, about anything but Genshin Impact, don't make much sense and don't have much thought behind them. And he always comes across as being very arrogant and obnoxious. But I don't know anything about Genshin Impact anymore. I haven't played it in years. Just admitting that means I have to go to counselling now. Thank you, Genshin Impact. Grinding the daily quest just to get dogshit characters in those fucking chest openings really did help me. But just to conclude this video, it's genuinely impressive how he can annoy people and can be genuinely obnoxious with this much confidence. It's probably a charming trait of his that most of his viewers like, and I can see why people would watch him. He has no filter and people can find that admiring and see that is him just being himself. On a platform arguably where it's very rare to find people doing that. Or at least it looks that way. He could be amplifying his personality to the point where this isn't him off camera at all. But I would say historically every take he's had goes against the grain or against the current. One such opinion being that he hated Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Sorry, I can't forgive him. We need a Sebaku execution right now. But you have to say he is somewhat entertaining, even though every clip I see of him on Reddit does annoy me. And everyone just seems to treat him like a toilet on that Reddit page because of his historically terrible takes or just being obnoxious. But to be honest, I'm also to blame. I click on clips with him in it, knowing I'm gonna get annoyed. And I would say it's on the same point as hanging from my testicles from the ceiling, because I'm doing it to myself at that point. I do need to improve and not click on things I know I'm gonna get annoyed at. But knowing me, next time on Reddit I'll fucking do it again. But I'm not saying off stream or even on stream is a bad person. I only know his online persona. Probably watch him for a bit, see if you feel the same way. But anyway, that's my opinion. I hope the like, comment and subscribe button glows when I say them. If not, they're just racist against British people. My accent isn't that thick. But, bye-bye.